and welcome to my channel. I am Stephanie and this is the August 2019 wrap up and stats video. As I said, this is the August 2019 wrap up and stats video. This video is about to blow your mind. And this is the reason, this month right here is the reason why I changed doing a full wrap up of every single book that I read. Because if you have been following me week to week, you know that my August numbers have been crazy large. And when I start getting into the breakdown of everything, you guys are gonna be like, oh my god, how did you do that? So that's a completely different video on how I read, but I might have to redo that one because being jobless, I read a lot more lately. So, but like every month, I will timestamp down below the different categories for you guys. So if you want to jump around, check out what you want to check out. Point that has been brought up. For those that are just now watching my monthly videos, know that there is a special section that I timestamped down below for all of the Black authors that I read within each month. Take a look at that if that's what you are looking for. So let's just get to this crazy numbers. Also, at the end, if you want to time jump to the end, there is going to be a slideshow of all of the book covers that I did read for the month in chronological order so that you can check out the week in which I talk about the book as well. Okay, numbers. So I read 49 books in the month of August. Yes, you heard me. I read 49 books. This is the highest month, the most books I have ever read, like ever, in a single month. It's crazy that I did it, and these numbers just show. I mean, it was a really good month, and I'm really excited to show you guys what I did read. So out of that, that was 26 audiobooks, 23 ebooks, 21 of those were arcs from different places. Not necessarily all came in and due for August, but you know, 21 arcs. Wow. And 6 of them were scheduled arcs, so they were due in the month of August. That breaks down to 166 hours and 20 minutes of audiobooks and 12,063 pages of reading completed. Oh my goodness, craziness. Now the star ratings breakdown comes to I DNF'd 1 book. I had 0 1-stars. I had 1 2-star book. I had 5 3-star books. I had 29 4-star books. And I had 13 5-star books. Alrighty, now here is the section that I'm sure some people are very interested in. This is the Blackout section, or Blackout 2019 section. It's where I read Black authors and I let you guys know which authors I read this month. For this month, I read Getting Schooled by Christina C. Jones, Sin and Ink by Naima Simone, Thicker Than Water by Dylan Allen, Song of Blood and Stone by L. Penelope, and Engaging the Enemy by Reese Ryan. Every month I do a different category for Romance Genreathon, and this month it was sci-fi, urban fantasy, and paranormal. And for this I read Fire in Her Eyes by Ruby Dixon, Gagorgi by Lauren Smith, How to Date Your Dragon by Molly Harper, Bryn's Blessing by Pearl Tate, The Vampire, the Witch, and the Werewolf by Lucia Bacco, McCall by Lauren Smith, Love and Other Wild Things by Molly Harper, Song of Blood and Stone by L. Penelope, and Even Tree Nymphs Get the Blues by Molly Harper. For this year, I am participating in Romanceopoly, which is a sort of challenge that is going on where you have to go around like a Monopoly board, but there are different romance categories and subgenres and things like that. So this month I completed Magic Row Space, and I did that by reading McCall by Lauren Smith. I read The Things You Save in a Fire by Catherine Center for the Fire Station Space, and How to Love a Duke in 10 Days by Kerrigan Bryn for the Mayfair space. So the readathons that I did this month, what I'm going to do, I'll go through the readathons when they were, and then you guys will see a flash of the books going as I'm speaking about each one. So you already know what I read for Romance Genreathon, which is a month-long readathon, and the other readathons that I participated in, it was Reviewathon, which was a readathon that was being held by NetGalley, and they actually was holding it from July the 22nd until August the 30th, and I got all of these books completed for that time, and I was really glad that I got to participate in it. I didn't really change my ratio, which was the major point to the readathon. I think if you still requested more books and you received more books, your ratio didn't really change that much. As long as you were reading and turning them in and then getting new books, your ratio doesn't change. It was weird. I did go up a couple points on my ratio, but for the most part, my ratio stayed the same. It's all good. It just shows that I'm still, you know, all about it. So I will be continuing on with doing NetGalley reviews and getting those turned in a timely manner as well, because I have a whole bunch left. I was also participating in a Polycon 20 in 20. That actually started back in May the 27th, which was Memorial Day, and it went until Labor Day, which was September the 2nd. And the books that I completed are books or by authors that are going to be featured or appearing at a Polycon in 2020, and I'm enjoying this challenge. I did finish off the challenge. I did read 20 authors within this time frame, and I think I'm going to continue to see how many more authors I can read from the Polycon list of authors that are going to be appearing there, because I love that event. It's a weekend event that I just go, and it's only like 30 minutes away from me, but I go up there and I just immerse myself in romance for 4 days, and it's amazing. I also participated in Reverse Readathon, which is put on by Dewey's and 24-hour readathon, and it happened from August the 2nd to the 3rd, and as I said, it's a 24-hour readathon. You just try and read as much as you can. I read these books during that time, and I participated in the 24-hour Smudathon that was held the last day of August, August the 31st, and I got these books done during that time. Alrighty, so here is the bookish news. I want to give a huge shout out to Bree from Falling in Love. That is her blog name. She has been rocketing up the social sphere of in the bookish world for romance, and I give her so many props. She's done a couple feature articles for Frolic and a couple other publications, and I'm just so happy for her. I wanted to give her a shout out, and if you guys want to go check out her blog, make sure you check the description box, because I will leave a link to her blog down there. Also, the Read Bliss team released my 5 books that should be made, or that we would like to see on the big screen, or I would like to see on the big screen, or that should be made on the big screen, and I will leave that link down in the description box as well. And if you guys have not checked out the podcast of Read Me Romance, you really need to. They are still pumping out the audiobooks twice a week. It's now on Mondays and Fridays that they give the podcast, and I'm here for it. Their banter. The podcast is being run by Tessa Bailey and Alexa Riley. They have banter, and then they give you a professionally done audiobook, and it's amazing. I love it. So go check it out if you like some different, lots and lots of different, because they range from like the sugary sweet to, you know, sort of twisted and getting into different kinks and things like that. There are 3 seasons worth of books out as of right now, and I think you guys should get on the bandwagon if you haven't already. Alrighty, I did not attend any bookish events this month. And now for the favorite part of this video, and the more chatty part of this video. This is the top 5 reads of August. I had 13 books to sort of pick from, and I only pick from my 5-star reads. Whew, yeah, this was a hard month to choose only 5 books, because there were a couple books that were like, I think I want to kind of put them on the list, but I'm not sure if I really should. I need to stick with my 5. I don't want to expand and things like that. So I didn't expand, and I'm only giving you 5 of my favorite books, because out of those 13, there are more than just these 5. And these are in no particular order to my liking, just how I decided to put them on the list. So the first book I'm going to talk about is Unlucky in Love by Carrie Hart, and this book was so sweet. It's about a female that has no luck. Well, I shouldn't say she doesn't have any luck. She just got a raw end of the deal, and she ends up moving in with a guy that is her best friend, and he is sort of a shock jock on the radio and gives love advice and things like that. She happens to go into the radio studio after she has just had a very bad breakup, and she goes on air on accident and gets some things told about herself. So they start this sort of social experience, and things go from there. And I just loved every single moment of it. It was super funny. It was super sweet. There are lots of sexy moments in it, and I was just loving it. Loving it, loving it, loving it. I think you guys should go check it out. The next thing that I am putting on this list is The Things You Save in a Fire by Catherine Center. I read this as a NetGalley arc, and I had no clue what I was getting into. It does feel a little bit more like a women's fiction story than a romance, so it may surprise you that this has made my top 5 list. But the reason I really connected and loved this story is because it is about a female firefighter. She is in a very progressive sort of station, and then she has to move because of family issues to a non-progressive station. And watching her go through that, that change of environment was eye-opening, and I could relate to it, because being that I was in law enforcement, I know that whole misogynistic sort of thing still does exist in those male-dominated careers, and I was just here for it. I really enjoyed it. It does deal with some family issues. It deals with like a mother-daughter situation, and it deals with, the male culture. And I appreciated that Catherine puts up front in her author's notes that she got a lot of the information and did a lot of research into the I guess you could say the world of firefighting via her husband, who is either a firefighter or an EMT, or has some sort of connection with emergency management. And some of the stories that are interwoven into this book actually have happened. Of course, stories, names have changed, situations have been heightened or changed to protect the identities of people, and it was just a really touching book, and I really enjoyed it. The next book I'm going to talk about is How to Love a Duke in 10 Days by Kerrigan Brin. I am loving me some Kerrigan Brin for some historical romance. In this story, you have the Red Rogues, and this is a girls group, a group of ladies that grew up together. It is set in a historical setting, and one of the girls is visiting the other 2 girls for a possible wedding, and things end up changing. There is a mystery that goes along with it. There is murder. There is some content warning for rape and abuse. But other than that, it was a fantastic story. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to get the other stories for the Red Rogues, and I'm here for it. The next book that I'm going to talk about is Engaging the Enemy by Reese Ryan. I actually had this book as an arc for a long time, and I don't know why it took me so long to read it, but I loved this story. It had all of the feels of that enemies to lovers, and it's because they were enemies and childhood friends that they became lovers. And I was so here for it. So our main female character is working as a jewelry maker, and she owns a building that our male character needs to own and wants to sort of stand up in his family. They were childhood friends, but something happened, people's feelings got hurt, and they stopped talking to each other. Well, in order for the male character to buy the female character's building, they had to make a deal, and one of the stipulations was to fake fiance or fake date type thing, and you could feel the sexual chemistry right off the bat in this story, and it was sweet, and there are family secrets that were revealed, and I was just here for it because it was a good progression of enemies to lovers without too much hate, but at the same time you could feel the tension and understand why there was that tension. And the final book that I'm going to talk about is That Forever Girl by Megan Quinn. And this was a trip back to the small town of Port Snow. And we get the second oldest brother in this family, and this is his story. This story had me on edge because it did one of the things that I don't particularly care for, which is a whole bunch of flashbacks. But in order for you to understand this story, understand why our main characters had this animosity towards each other as they were older, you had to look back into their relationship, and I was here for it. Their antics back and forth, the reason that their small town was trying to get them back together, and it was just so beautiful, and I felt every emotion that both of our characters were going through, because Megan does an amazing job at writing these characters and giving these characters voice and how they came back together, and it was just amazing. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. So those are the stats for August. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakdown. I hope I didn't ramble too much. Obviously I did, in some ways. But you can now skip to, there was a lot of books. There was a lot of books that I had to cover, so yeah. But you can now either skip to the slideshow or you can listen to my outro. Let me know if you have read any of the books that I just listed off, what you thought about them. Are you going to participate in any of the upcoming readathons or anything like that? My September TBR for readathons has been released already. It was released on Tuesday, so go check that out if you want to know what I'm reading in September. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later.